a mistake we commonly make is to take the epistemic structure of our language for the ontic structure of the world. We project the categories of language, the nouns we come up with, we project them outward as if they were true, proper parts of the world. And that can go terribly wrong. In some cases, it's obvious, like this is a fist. Where did the fist go? Did the fist disappear? No, the fist was never there as an entity. The fist was a configuration of nature. It was something nature was doing, but it wasn't an entity unto itself. In other cases, it's much more difficult to see this projection. When we talk, every time we talk about a car or a table, we are nominally, in other words, only in language, carving out a subset of nature for which we have no ontic grounds to say this is a separate entity. Some people would say, well, the car is everything you need for the thing to move. If you don't need it, then it's not part of the car. Like if you take the spark plugs out, the car doesn't move, so the spark plugs are integral to the car. Well, on that account, without fuel, the car doesn't run. Without tires, the car doesn't run. But also without the road that the tires grip, the car doesn't run. Without the gravity that pulls the tires to the road, the car doesn't run. Without the air that cools the engine and allows for combustion, the car doesn't run. So if you think consequently about it, the inanimate universe has no proper parts. There is good reason physically to think that if Big Bang theory is correct, then everything in the universe is ultimately untangled, and what we take to be collapsed states, physical states, or classical physical states, are a kind of illusion because of the coherence. So before we ask which entities are conscious, we have to ask what are the entities that we are questioning, whether they are conscious or not. Is a table an entity? Is it conscious? If a panpsychist says yes, what happens when I remove one of the four legs of the table? Does the removed leg now have a consciousness of its own, separate from the rest of the table? Or if I nail it back, does it combine with the rest? And the answer to that is there is no table, there is no car, there are no objects. The only thing we have empirical and ontic grounds to carve out of the rest of nature are living beings, because if you stick a needle on my arm, I feel it. If you stick it on the arm of my chair, I don't. And that's a very empirical criterion to say, okay, living beings do have boundaries. I would say they are dissociative boundaries in the noumenal world. But everything else, when you ask, does a glass of water have consciousness? My question to you would be, or my answer to you would be, there is no glass of water. There is only the inanimate universe as a whole, and it is conscious. Yeah, then I would say yes.